In this tutorial, we're going to pick up where we left off, which was we've completed the head setup, and now we're going to go ahead and finish up by setting up the body. So I'm going to go ahead and open from the computer, and I'm going to look for the last version of the puppet I saved. It looks like I have a number 3 version, so I'll click on that. Remember, it has to be that Photoshop file to keep the layers, and click open. And here I can see that I've got the head visible. I had made corrections on the naming, just double checked everything, have the eyebrows at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the head layers. I'm just going to turn off the eyebrows too. They're not part of that head folder, but it's good not to see them. And now I'm going to go back and turn on the gin layer. And this time, by selecting that layer, I'll use that selection tool, which defaults up here to the rectangle when you first go ahead and load Photopea.com. So with that selected here, I'm just going to go start below the feet and go right up above the collar with just a little bit of the neck. Make sure I've got this all selected. Like we've done before, I'm going to go ahead and do Control J to make a copy of it. And this one, I'm going to rename Torso. And even though it includes everything in the body right now, it's just going to be the torso eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off our reference file of Jim. And now I can see I've just got his head's gone. What happened to your head? All right, so I need to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this new folder Body. And now I'm just going to drag torso into that new folder. And now I need to do similar to what we did with the face. So I need to turn this into multiple parts. So I'm going to start by using that rectangular tool again. The M key will let me choose it. I'm just going to click below the left arm here. Remember, even though we're looking at it on our right-hand side, it's actually the character's left arm. And notice I've gone up above the shoulder, included all the fingers. And then I'll just press Control J, and I'll rename that left arm. All right, now I'll go back to the torso. I'll use the marquee tool. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got the left leg. And I'll just take it just a little bit loose to start. Control J, and that'll be the left leg. And now I'll go over here to the right arm, and this is going to be a little tricky as we build it. So I'm going to imagine I'm seeing behind it there and getting this. Make sure I have the torso layer selected. Now Control J and rename this one right arm. And finally, I'll go ahead and select what appears to be hidden, which is this right leg here. Remember, it's the character's right leg, and I'll just go up here and get a little bit extra. Control J and do the right leg. All right, so now it's time to clean things up. So I'm going to start by turning off the arms and legs and just select the torso. And now what I need to do is use that selection tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the torso. Oh, wait, where am I going? I'm not cutting too much of the torso. I'm cutting off the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and start below the legs and just keep it probably right to about here. So I just right where the legs start splitting off. I'll do Control X. And now I need to get rid of some of these arms here. So I'll just start, kind of like that and kind of like this. And now you can use the wand key. So press W. I can press on it, make sure it's that magic wand, which is the default. Okay, I'm going to Control plus to zoom in here. And let's see, I've got torso selected. So there it is. I clicked in the arm here and Control X to get rid of some of that. Click over here, Control X. Let me use the eraser now, the E key. I'm going to make this eraser bigger and make it a little bit soft. And now I can go in and just kind of erase along. Remember, if you have something selected, it won't let you erase. So if you can't erase, you need to make sure that you use Control D to deselect the selection. Remember, I can use my two fingers on the touchpad here to just kind of scroll the image over. And let's see, what do I want to get? Oh, I want to get rid of the neck up here, so I use the W1 key, Control X, Control D to deselect. And now back to the E for the eraser, and just kind of go through here. And that's pretty clean. Let me go down to the bottom now and see where we're at. The bottom is probably okay. I don't know if I need to smooth it out, but here's the tricky part now. I'm going to zoom this out. And, you know, the left, oh, here I've got something to erase right here, it looks like. So the left arm was actually covering part of the body, so the body shouldn't look quite this thin. I'm going to kind of stretch it out. So with torso layer selected, I'll press the M key, choose that rectangle selection. I will click down here and just kind of grab this piece. In fact, actually, yeah, I'll do that. And then Control J to get it. I've got a duplicate layer. Now I can use the V key to select the Move tool and start using my arrow to kind of expand it out and maybe move it up a bit to kind of line up the belt here. So that's probably not too bad. I'll have to do some erasing and such. So I'm going to zoom in here with Control plus, move up to the top here, choose my eraser key, and see if I can see a little bit. Oops, I have to select the torso layer. There it is, torso. Okay. Oh, wrong layer. I need to select layer 1. That's what I thought I had selected. So I hit Control Z to undo my mistake. All right, with this layer, there we go. Oops, too much, Control Z. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of reveal this little part here. And let's see, I don't know if I have, yeah, that's not bad. I think now I'll use the eyedropper tool. I'm just kind of cleaning this up. I'll select this blue here, go to the brush tool, and of course I can make the brush a little bit bigger, but let me just kind of clean that up. And that's not bad. I guess that's good enough. So I'll go down here and I can see that I've got a little bit of jaggedness here. So let me just take some black eyedropper, make it go black, go to the brush tool, and let me just zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just kind of, there we go. There's the brush. So I'll just kind of do that to smooth it out just a bit. And then I think I'll do the same with the green. So eyedropper, brush, and maybe just a little bit of green there. All right, so I kind of fixed that layer. Oh, I'm going to zoom all the way out with Control O. And now I can zoom in again and see. So here's where the body originally ended up, and I've kind of expanded it out. So I really need to kind of move the edge in there. So I'm going to use the eraser tool here and just kind of smooth this a little bit. And now that I've got that, I've got these two layers, so I'll keep this layer selected, hold the Shift key, select Torso, and then use Control E to combine them, but notice it changed the name. So I'm going to double click it and make sure it says Torso. And now when I zoom out, I can see that, yeah, it's pretty much the torso without the arms and legs. So let's see what we need to get those legs and arms going. I'm going to go here and turn off the torso and turn on the left arm. And now what I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to use the W key here, make sure left arm is the layer that I've got selected. And I'll do Control X and then keep going through here to get rid of these large blocks of color. And I'll do this one here. And now I can go Control D to get rid of the selection and use my eraser tool and just kind of clean this stuff up. Now up here, I don't need the whole arm here. So I'm just going to shave a little bit off so that it can pivot on the torso. And I'll just clean a little bit there. And if we just zoom it in so we can see it a little bit better. And I'll use my fingers on the touchpad to go through here. And here I go, clean some of this stuff up. And some of this. And I got a little bit of blue there. I don't know if the W1 key would work better there. Yeah, looks like still need to use the eraser there a bit. And then let me slide over and see. So that's not bad. Let me zoom it out again. So there it is. The left arm is pretty much done. So let me go ahead and turn off the left arm, turn on the left leg, and see what I can do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and use the rectangle tool just to kind of get a bunch of this stuff out of here. So let's see if I go to, yeah, probably right about there. Make sure I have the left leg layer selected and then do Control X. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's see what else. Yeah, I can get a little bit of stuff up here just to kind of get it going. Oops. Let's go back into it here. Zoomed out. And let's see, I'll select this part to get rid of it. Control X. And let me try and switch to the wand tool now. Let's see what happens if I select this. Control X to delete it. I can go back to that marquee tool, the M tool, click and drag here. And I'm just trying to quickly get as much of this stuff done as I can. So I'm going to do Control D to deselect. And now I'll go back to the eraser tool. And let me just kind of zoom in a bit and see where it's at. Maybe I'll clean this little piece up here and clean this piece here. And let me go to the top. Oh, and maybe just a little bit here. Yeah. Make that part of the leg. And then over here, I'm just going to kind of round the top here, cut it in a bit so it'll be able to pivot on that body on the torso and get the rest of that. So let me zoom this out and see. So the left leg doesn't look bad. All right, so let's move over to the right leg. And that's going to be a little tricky because you can see that we've got one of the boots hidden. So first let me go ahead and I'll just kind of round off the top here. So I'll go ahead and round it maybe a little bit more in like that. I can use the M tool, the rectangle selection. Remember, I'm using Control X after I select something. And let's see, what else do I need here? Okay, so I need to go in and I'll kind of select this stuff. I guess I could have used the wand tool instead. And so I think I will do that. Let's see, wand. And the wand tool here. And now just the eraser tool. Oh, I got a Control D to deselect. That's one of those things you got to make sure it's deselected. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about in this area yet. The boot is kind of gone, but I'll show you what I'm going to do to be able to kind of see that boot. I'll smooth that. Okay, so it's not bad except for the boot. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on the left leg. I'm going to select that left leg layer. And I'll use this rectangle selection tool to kind of just select the entire boot here from that left leg, and I'll do Control J. Then bring that down right above my right leg. Turn off the left leg again. And now what I want to do is move it over. So I could go to the Edit menu and choose Free Transform. And I could kind of position it to where I think the boot would look like. It's probably right about there. And now I need to start erasing some parts of it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the E key here and see that I don't want this part. But that'll be okay. And I don't want this part or this part here, actually. Yeah, because I want to see the one that's underneath it. Let's see, how far does that go? It might work, so I'm just kind of playing with it to see. Now remember, I can always do Control Z if I make a mistake. That doesn't look too bad. I think I have a little bit more up here to look at. There I go. So I've kind of created a boot. So let me combine these again. So I'll select that layer I've been working on, hold Shift, select right leg, do Control E, and then double click to make this the right leg again. And then finally, I think I just have a little bit of erasure to do right about here, making sure I've got the right leg. So the right leg looks pretty good right now. If I turn on the left leg, it's still overlapped on top of it. I can turn on the torso, and that kind of works okay. I mean, it's the leg and it's there. I think that works okay. But here's the bigger challenge here. Let me just zoom out with Control minus. I'll turn on that left arm. But the bigger challenge is getting that right arm. So let me turn these other ones off right now, especially the torso. Turn the right arm on. And now I'll zoom in and show you what I need to do to kind of make this right arm work. So kind of do a little similar to what we did, but I've got the right, I got to get the right arm layer selected. And I'm going to go here to where this lasso tool is, but I'm going to hold on it and pick the polygonal lasso tool. I like that one. I'm going to click in here and go off to the side and go up and over and like this, and Control J. And now I could actually just use this move tool here and use my cursor, or let's see, I guess I can just drag it up there. So there, I've kind of dragged it up to here to extend that arm up. All right, so I'm going to combine these again. So I'll keep this layer selected, hold Shift, select right arm, Control E, rename it to right arm. And now I'll clean it up. So I'll use the wand tool for a lot of it. Oops, I don't want to do the wand tool there because I don't want to get rid of all that blue. So I think I'll just use that lasso tool again and see if I can kind of easily get into a lot of this stuff. And I'll kind of go right up to here and down. And it's a little tricky, one of these tight areas. Now that it's selected, make sure I'm on the right arm, do Control X. And now I'll do Control D to get out of there. Oh, you know what I need? I need some of the blue. So I'll use the eyedropper tool. Oh, the letter I. I always forget which one that is. Choose that blue. B for the brush. Make the brush a little bit bigger here. A little softer. And go in and just paint over some of this. And now the eraser tool to get rid of some of this extra stuff here and keep it a little bit rounded. It's going to be attaching the torso. So, well, there, that's not bad. Let's see what happens with the torso turned on. Yep, there it is. Because we're going to have that arm pivoting. It's going to actually be behind the torso. So what we have to do is bring that right arm down the layer so it's underneath torso. And the legs and such, yeah, I guess the legs could probably go down too. So let me just grab these two here and bring them underneath the torso. And make sure that they're all turned on now. So the arms and the legs are all turned on. I'm going to zoom out just to see what it looks like here. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So there it is, building the body, breaking it down into the 5 parts, the torso, the 2 arms, and the 2 legs. And I think everything is named correctly. So now it's time to turn the head back on and to go back up here and turn on the eyebrows. And now we're going to export it. So we'll go back to the File menu, save as PSD. And the last one I saved was Puppet 3, so I'm going to make this Puppet 4. And there you have it. If everything's been in the proper layers and the proper naming, I'll be able to use this file to turn it into a puppet for Character Animator. And then you'll be able to see your character come to life.